Welcome back to another installment on the 1941 Capehart Panamuse that we are completing for a customer. We now have completed the 1941 16E record changer. This is a pre-20,000 serial number, so no pot metal. If it is pot metal, it's very stable. No issues whatsoever. You don't really see it until 1942, which is about the end of the line for the 16E. So we have a brown variation in front of us with the true tangent tone arm. The Bakelite head shell originally would have came with a crystal cartridge with a Rochelle salt crystal inside, a static B series. That has been removed a long time ago and a 1950s or 60s ceramic cartridge installed underneath the head shell, which we'll show here towards the end. We'll be testing the audio fidelity of that, but so far in terms of alignment and calibration, it does work just fine. It is hard to find rebuilt crystals these days, and it's becoming a lost art rather quickly. So this was originally set up for salt crystal. It is now converted to a ceramic cartridge. A rather nicely done conversion too, might I add. So the changer, when it arrived, was missing pieces. The reversing arm was missing, as well as all the hardware that goes down to the sector wheels underneath the bed plate. That was missing as well. The chrome arm that holds the magazine here in a vertical position was missing, as was the cotter pin down at the bottom. And we are obviously missing the rubber roller on the stop arm, which is common on a lot of these just because it dry rots and goes bad. And we had to do a lot of adjusting. The record guide pins here in the center that hold the records. The record tray was out of adjustment. All the rubber and felt material has been replaced, as well as the cork material and the leather material which sits underneath the changer. So we have two pieces of leather which are stop facings, for one for a cam and the other for a I guess another pivot point. And then we replaced all the turntable felt with a proper color, both on the record tray and the magazine, which we will show here towards the end. We clean polished everything, as you can see, and we installed the original spare part that I had, the reversing arm right here that has been installed. And we have sent the changer through 250 cycles here in the test stand. So we haven't even put it back in the cabinet yet. So we finished our calibration, which was a very long process on this one. This changer was beyond out of adjustment. There were pieces missing and screws that were loose, and a gearing that was just not meshing correctly. So all that has been squared away, and now we're going to demonstrate the finished product before we put it back in the cabinet. So we have three positions here. We have repeat one side and both sides. We're on both sides right now, which is the fun one to watch. So let's go ahead and send it through a cycle. We have no audio hooked up, and I'm manually tripping the clutch right now because the solenoid has no power to it. So what just came off was a 12-inch record. Capehart allowed you to mix 10 and 12-inch records. And on the later changers, the maximum amount of records you can put on a magazine is 18. That's 18. The earlier ones were just a different value. And the least amount you could put is 6, of course. That stayed the same all through the 30s. But the maximum amount changed. They actually decreased it later on, right before the war. Most likely because they're having issues with overloading. So let's go ahead and do one more cycle. This time We'll do it on one side. Here's our 10-inch record. And our tone arm set down is perfect. The tricky part to adjusting these is the tone arm height and also the head shell set down and where it sets at. Here's repeat mode. Repeat mode really just sends the changer through a partial cycle, as you can see. These are all test records, so they may not play correctly, but for calibration purposes they work perfectly. Okay, let's go ahead and do both sides again. Send it through another one. Now the way the cam's set up, it knows to flip it once, and then it skips and goes to basically one side, the one side function that is, as you can see right now. So both sides does everything that repeat and one side does. So everything works absolutely flawlessly, and we wanted to demonstrate that here. We'll send it through one more on one side. Okay, let's go ahead and bring it a little closer, and we're going to take a look at the felt and the overall finished product without the records. And like I said, you can mix them intermittently. That's what's amazing about the Capehart changer. Finest changer of the pre-war era, and really the only changer of its kind. Okay, so there you have it. You see the new felt on the magazine, all perfectly cut by hand by myself. We've polished the record tray, which is critical in order for proper changer operation, and you can see all the new felts here, including the new plastic disc in the center. The plastic disc is necessary, at least it helps, when the record slides off the smooth surface when it comes down on the record tray. That was a dealer revision that was sent out to the dealers actually back in the mid-30s, and you started seeing changers with plastic sheets on them like this. Here's a head shell. There's the ceramic insert. If it'll focus, there we go. So a very interesting modification that was done some time ago. As you can see, everything is clean and polished, adjusted and calibrated and ready to go into the cabinet.